Jeff Goldblum is Zeus, king of the gods. If you'd ever told me that was going to be true, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are. Netflix original series Kaos, starring Jeff Goldblum as Zeus, king of the gods. Welcome back. This is Sean's Take. My name is Sean Redmond. And today my take is on Kaos, Season 1, Episode 1. This is your spoiler warning. From here on out, I'll assume you've seen the episode or don't care if I ruin it or spoil it. I will also use some clips from the show, which is allowed under the fair use provision of the copyright laws of 1976. Let's dig in. What have we here? We have a modern day presence of the Olympian gods, Zeus and Hera, Prometheus. So we meet or we hear Prometheus. He is our narrator. He's telling us the story. Prometheus is bound to a rock for giving fire to humans. That was his, among other things, Zeus got mad at him for was that he gave fire to humans. And he was bound to the rock. He's bound to the rock, and every morning the eagle, symbol of Zeus, arrives and picks out and eats his liver. And then every night the liver is restored to happen again. According to Greek mythology, eventually Apollo frees Prometheus. But at this point in Prometheus's life, he is still bound to the side of the rock. This series is created and written by Charlie Covell. Charlie Covell also wrote the series End of the Effing World, which is a series I absolutely thought was fantastic. It got 2 seasons, and that's all we're getting. Because that's all the story they had, and that was fine. We might need a rewatch of that and put it up here on the channel for people. So Prometheus tells us that he's attached to the rock because he knows too much about a certain person. That certain person being Zeus. And according to Greek mythology, Zeus is married to Hera, his wife/sister. I don't know if we're going to get into that in this series. Greek mythology is very twisted. So we find out from our narrator, Prometheus, who is still bound, is not unbound. Prometheus unbound. Anybody get the reference? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. He tells us that there are 3 key humans. And the first one of these we meet goes by Riddy, but her actual given name is Eurydice. And Eurydice and Orpheus, her boyfriend. In this case, Orpheus is a rock star. In the original Greek mythology, Orpheus played a lyre and wrote a beautiful song for Eurydice and did end up going into hell to get her back, or going into Hades, I should say. If any of you have seen the play Hades Town, the musical Hades Town, that is a musical telling of the love story of Eurydice and Orpheus. And our narrator in that play is Hermes, the messenger of the gods, who we did not meet in this episode. So I'm not sure which gods we're going to meet or not meet. So we meet Eurydice, and Eurydice Riddy is at the grocery store, and she runs into a very dirty looking Billie Piper. Any Doctor Who fans know Billie Piper. She was also in Confessions of a Call Girl. What else did Billie Piper do? I Love Susie. Billie Piper was in. And she looks a wreck. And now they don't say it in this episode, but on the IMDb page, the Internet Movie Database for this show, her character is listed as Cassandra. Now, that's important because the god Apollo was very taken with Cassandra, and to win her favor, he granted her the gift of prophecy. Some of the stories go that she promised him favors in exchange for prophecy, and when he granted it, she reneged, and he couldn't take the power away, so he added to it. And what he added to it was that while she would have the ability to foretell the future, she would be condemned that no one will believe her. So that's Cassandra. And we do see a little bit, well, we'll cover that as we talk about this episode. So we do a lot of world building here, and the gods are still very much in control. They still walk amongst humans, and Zeus still has his, narcissistic need to be worshipped by the humans. And on the God's Day or Zeus Day, whatever the holiday was, they were supposed to unveil a new monument to Zeus. And he is, of course, watching on television. He thinks this is the greatest thing ever. They unveil the monument, and somebody's dumped shit on it and written on the wall, "Fuck the gods." So this makes Zeus not happy. And his immediate reaction is what his reaction has always been: kill them all. Just wipe them out and start again. Hera stops him, says it's just a few people, have Poseidon punish them. So we also meet in this episode, well, I'm just jumping around, huh? And I don't think it's as important to pull this show apart in order. I think it's a little more lighthearted than some of the shows we talk about on this channel. And it's, this writer and this director in this show is painting in very, very broad strokes based on source material that very few people study anymore. We're all vaguely aware of the gods of Olympus. But if you said that they were the gods of Asgard, people might not know the difference, right? So the Greek gods of Olympus, the gods of Thor and Odin are different, and they're different again in Italy, but they're all the same gods, or they seem to be the same pantheon of gods. I can go on forever about that. So we do meet one of Zeus's sons from a human mother, who is Dionysus. Hera not fond of Dionysus, and Hera turned Dionysus' human mother into a bee, and she keeps bees of all of the women that she's turned into bees. Interesting. Now, Dionysus, if you don't know, is the god of pleasure. So it's all debauchery and sex with Dionysus. Oh, darn. Dionysus decides that he's a little bored playing with the humans and would like a promotion. And he goes to see his dad and asks for a promotion. And he asks the falafel guy, he got lunch at a falafel truck, and he asked the guy what he should do. And the guy said, my son gave me a watch once. It means the world to me. So Dionysus gets his dad a watch and goes and asks for a promotion. And Zeus said, I already have a watch. Given to me by, was it Apollo? Nope, I didn't write down. But he does get Zeus to try on his watch. And he takes off the watch that he loves and sets it down. Tries the watch. He says, nope, that's not it. Takes it off. Dionysus picks up the watch that Zeus loves and leaves with it. That's important, or it's going to be important. And sort of now is when Zeus gets distracted by the fact that there's people have thrown crap all over his monument. And Zeus begins to sort of, I don't know if it's amp himself up or just coach himself in a mirror. And he notices that he's got a new line of a wrinkle. And his prophecy is when the line appears, the order waves, or the order wanes, the family falls, and chaos reigns. So he thinks the new wrinkle on his forehead is the line appearing, and the order of the gods will wane. His family, Zeus's family, will fall, and chaos will reign. That's what he thinks. So he got a little wrinkle. We all get them. Happens. So Eurydice, different than the original myth, is falling out of love with Orpheus. Originally the story was that Eurydice went with Hades to ensure that she had enough to eat. It didn't have anything to do with Orpheus. Orpheus was just caught up in his music. In this show, Eurydice is tired of the relationship and is moving on. But Orpheus is still in love with her. So she goes to see her mom, who happens to be a priestess of Hera's order. And she's one of the priestesses that had her tongue removed. And we do learn as Riddy is in the confessional with her mother, talking to her mother, that we see Hera has a room full of little drawers that has everybody's tongue in it. And when she opens the correct drawer, she can hear what they're saying. So she hears your confessions. And Eurydice wants advice from her mother and doesn't get any because her mother can't talk. Her mother writes down something and hands it to her. And it's Eurydice's fortune, prophecy. So Eurydice is upset and she leaves and walks out into the street. Earlier in the day, when she met Cassandra, Eurydice Riddy was told by Cassandra that today's the day. Today's the day. And Riddy doesn't know what to make of that. And of course, it's Cassandra, so her prophecy is true, but nobody believes her. So Riddy goes on with her day, but there's nothing to believe. Today's the day is not much of a prophecy. So now, flash forward, Riddy comes out of the temple, walks into the street, and gets killed by a truck. Today was the day. During her funeral, so in Greek mythology, when you die, you have to cross the river Styx. Yes, that's where the rock band got their name. And to cross the river Styx, you need to pay the ferryman. And so everybody gets buried with a coin so that they're able to pay the ferryman so that they can cross the river Styx. Orpheus took Riddy's coin, so she has no coin to cross the river Styx. Now, the final shot of this episode is the cruise ship-sized boat, everybody having on their life preservers, heading across the river Styx, or maybe not, because Riddy is on that boat. Prometheus did tell us towards the end of this episode that Zeus wasn't always a god. He did not create us, which is also why he can be destroyed. And Prometheus is playing a dangerous game where he understands that the prophecy is coming into focus and it is becoming time, but he's also advising Zeus that, you're the king of the gods. They're just humans. Don't worry about it. So this is a fun show. I laughed out loud a few times. What do you think? I was a little worried. Jeff Goldblum's getting a little older, and he's a little quirky as an actor, but I think it works in this. In the format that this show is, I think he's doing a really good job. I like the guy playing Prometheus. I think we all saw him in a different series that everybody watched. Can you remember where you saw him? Let me know in the comments where you saw that actor that plays Prometheus before. And of course, Billie Piper. I suspect we're going to see more of her as this series presses on. So that's it. Let me know what you think of this show. If you're enjoying it, it's a little more lighthearted than some of the others. I suspect it'll get dark at times because Greek mythology is very, very dark. But I think we're off to a good start. All right. For now, I'm Sean. This is Sean's Take. See you next time.